Tom Cruise is indestructible. Tom Cruise is the most indestructible human being in the world. You gotta watch The Mummy. He falls out of a helicopter, and then he comes out of a body bag. Perfect. That being said, he's also one of the best action stars ever. If you ever seen the Mission Impossible franchise, which many of you have, I'm hoping, every single movie he one-ups himself with something even more spectacular than he did last time. Even more dangerous, and the dude's like 55 now, I think. He's 55. He believes in an L. Ron Hubbard space fiction religion created in like the 1960s, like when he was born. And he's also one of the best action stars ever. And Mission Impossible Fallout is a great display of Tom Cruise's great running, his great action. I don't know about his acting. I never known about his acting. But overall, it is always a Tom Cruise is the best, like, most badass guy in the universe thing. And he is, once again. So, I saw it today. I thought the movie was one of the most exciting movies I've ever seen. It really was. It reminded me when I saw Mad Max Fury Road. Nowhere near as good as Mad Max Fury Road. Mad Max Fury Road is one of the best movies ever. I think Mad Max Fury Road is the best action movie of all time, as far as pure action goes. But this might be the best in the Mission Impossible franchise. Every single film kind of... Well, first one's great. The first one's a very tense, almost dramatic spy thriller that's super confusing. I think the first one is the most complicated of all the films. The second one is stupid. The second one is like a music video. The freaking doves. The freaking doves, man. The doves fly out at Tom Cruise. I was like, this is stupid. The third one's pretty good. The third one gets really gritty. I think, what's that guy? Dustin Hoffman? That's not his name. The hell is his name? Philip Seymour Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman is a fantastic villain. Very intimidating villain. I like the whole dynamic of Tom Cruise being married at some point in his life, and that was kind of a conundrum for him. He had left and he had come back. The fourth one. What was the fourth one called? That's the one where he ascended the world's tallest building in India. It's called the Burj Khalifa or something like that. I have no idea what it's called. Which is a crazy stunt. But that one was a great, like, return to form to what the first one felt like. Felt a little bit more complicated. Felt a little bit more sleuth-like and spy espionage-ish, you know? Because the third one felt more like an action movie. So it went more to being the spy thriller route of the first one. The fifth one went back to being more of an action film again. And then this one went more on the mix. I thought this film was... It was very tense. It was very... The best compliment, it's very fast-paced. It's 2.5 hours. Does not feel like 2.5 hours. It feels like it's a 90-minute film. Because every single scene is moving. They never once take a break. It's always a continuous, momentous force of tension, action. A dire situation is happening at this scene. Like it's unfolding before them that will lead to the next complication in a series of events for Tom Cruise to screw himself over and work himself out of. And he creates his own problems. But what I love about his character is he really does leap without looking. He creates a problem for himself or ends up in a situation that is just more difficult than he had anticipated, like 1,000 times. Impossible. And then he just says, all right, I'm just going to go for it. So, and he has this great team. He has Benji, the genius science nerd. And he has Luther, who's like the tech genius. And now he has, what's her name? Elise, I think, was his partner in the last film. And now this film, she's kind of at odds with him. We saw the trailer, she's shooting at him. And they want to get Solomon Kane, the international rogue nation terrorist, to a buyer to get plutonium balls from this team called the Apostles, because they're going to blow up something. So, oh, and he's also being babysat by a CIA operative named Walker, played by Superman with a mustache. And Henry Cavill was very good in this movie. I really liked him. Like, he talked a lot like Superman, which is kind of distracting. He had his American accent was very Supermanish. Like, he's talked very straightforward like a Boy Scout. But he was very good in this film. His character was very, like, fisticuffs type brutality. He punched with force. He fought like he was Thor. And Ethan Hunt fights very fast and very martial arts style, and this guy fought very brute force brawler type. And I thought their clashing of how they go about doing things, brute force versus leap without looking, speed like logic. I thought their clash was amazing. Their friction was amazing with one another. When they had a similar objective, even though he was like babysitting him. So their dynamic was great. I thought the villain he was kind of the same as the last movie. Really, Solomon Kane is the same type of guy he was the last time. He's like, he's okay. Benji and Luther are great tag teams. Rebecca Ferguson is hot and kicks a lot of butt. And I thought the continuous, momentous pace of this film was just thrilling, and it kept it moving forward. And if I were to give this movie a grade, I'd give it an A. Not an A+. It didn't blow me away, but I was very riveted throughout the entire film. And even though Tom Cruise is 50,000 years old, I feel like he can make at least 5 more of these movies. Somehow. He'd be 80 years old riding a wheelchair down the Grand Canyon.